draws were very bad for both sides. And the question is what I want to do with the Britons. And I think what I feel like I need to do is to launch an attack here. Because the second Legion didn't move, I feel fairly safe, but the only place I'm not safe is with the Brigantes. And if I can get rid of this Legion, I'm in good shape, and that'll let us see the combat system at least. So I'm going to spend a point right off the bat to roll on the Druid table. But which Druid table? I can use either one. I think I just want to go on the Berserker table. I get a 2, that's going to increase movement allowance by 2. Maybe the best thing I can do is run away. The Romans are fast. Or not as fast in this clear terrain, away from their roads. Okay. 1. Now I've got some 5 movement points left, and the Romans are going to try to intercept or not. I'm not really thrilled with the numbers I've got here. I know I'm facing a whole legion at least, but I also know how big the Iceni are. I'm afraid I've got to intact legion. That gives me +1. I think it's intact, yeah. Get +2 for intercepting. Yeah, I think I'm going to try intercepting with that legion. No guts, no glory. It's going to cost me one of my activations, but I don't want him slipping away. So let's see. We have to find the interception table now. These are going to be Romans with Cav in the clear, 2 hexes away. I need a 1 or 2. I don't get them. I feel like I need some other Roman movement, so I've got 5 left. I'm sorry, I've got like 7 left. 1. I'm down to 6 now. I could spend another shot at intercepting, but then I'm using up, all of my Roman activity to try to catch this thing. I think I still want to, though. I think it's vital that I try to catch it. What was my number, 1 or 2? Okay, I got them. And now we're going to have a battle. And in order to do this, we pull the 11th Corps, if I can find them. We're all, 9th Corps. We're all here. Along with all these auxiliaries. Wow, I brought a lot with me. I forgot to spend supply for the corps that second had to spend. Someone else maybe didn't. 14th, I could have spent one to upgrade, but I forgot to do that. And given how few I had, I think that was probably best to stay where I am. Okay, so this is what I have for them, and I have Druid 2's force. And now I'm going to need a calculator to remember numbers. So the raw numbers here are 62 for the Romans, which is bigger than I thought. I'm glad the Iceni or the Brigantes did not attack. They only have 72. And now we look at the combat adjustment chart, and we don't have this. None of this. It's an intact Roman legion, so I'm going to have +1 on the dice. +2 more for the interception, so I'm at +3 for the Romans. No battle leaders. I mean, I do have a Druid here, but he has no battle leader combat ability. Okay, so I'm at +3. I'm going to use the red die for the Romans because I think Romans should be red, not blue. And here's my combat chart. This is a major battle, there's no doubt about that. I have to fight around. So, the Romans get a 6. That's going to be a 2. And one of the units has to be one of the biggest units in the army. Whereas we do a 1 and an H. Now, notably, the heavy unit does not have to be hit here. Any legion will do in exchange for this. An intact legion doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be all the troops the legion ever had. So it's okay to take losses on the legionary units. So I'm going to take a hit on that, and that subtracts 2 from this. And over here I have to take 2 hits, one of which has to be on this big guy. So that's 8. And one might as well be on one of the little guys, which is 2 more. Now, you might say, well, what about your odds? You know, you were attacking a smaller force. Yeah, that's kind of on my mind right now to make sure that the odds don't end up yeah, so you have to have the superiority to get those odds. So just because the defender is bigger, there's no advantage to being the defender in this system. At this point, the Romans are down to +1 on the die roll. I'm allowed to withdraw if I like. Are there any victory points for just winning a battle? Not really. So I'm not really sure that I want to keep fighting with the Brigantes. Don't have any advantage here. So I'm going to try to withdraw, I believe. Let's look at the rules for that. Okay, so the danger with withdrawal, if I do it, is I have to go towards my capital, and I can be pursued by the cav. Alright, we're going to keep fighting, because we have a chance of outrolling the Romans. And actually, we don't have the option to withdraw, only the Romans do, because they are the smaller force. Interesting. Okay, so +1 for the Romans. The Romans do 2 hits. I do 1 heavy. 1 heavy doesn't really do much. Does 2 more. 2 hits of any type. Now, if I'm going to lose this battle, it would behoove me to keep my cav. But I'm just going to take off these. And now we're tied. I gotta keep these guys to exchange them for victory points when it happens. I still can't retreat, so it's +1 for the Romans. Now we each get 4. We each hit a heavy. A heavy for this is 8 strength points. You see how fragile these are. A heavy for this is just 2 more strength points. There's no real reason to reserve the elite unit that I can see. Okay, now the Brigantes could leave, but it's still ugly in terms of the odds, and I just don't know. Because every 2 strength points of the cav that the victorious side has, the withdrawing above the withdrawing stack, the victor is going to get a die roll on the skirmish table. I think it's unmodified. And right now it's a lot of cav. This stuff's not, but it's 2 force, 8, 9, 10. Minus 2 is 8. I'd get 4 rolls on the skirmish table. I'd be able to hit a lot of units. So I gotta stick around and fight, but these tribal units just fall apart so quickly. So +1 for the Romans again. This time we each get a 3. We get 1 hit each. And Romans are gonna just take one of these. Keep fighting. Now the Romans get a 7. That's 2 and an H versus 1 H. 1 H means 2 hits. 2 H means I have to take another 8, 16. And now it's beginning to look really ugly. But the problem is, I'm going to get schwacked by those cav really badly. Chances are, if they're doing, 4 hits or something, or 4 dice to me, they're going to do like 4 hits. And that's about all I have left. So I got to stick around. We may be at 3-2 now, but it doesn't give me any advantage in the midst of a battle. Okay, Romans get 4. They hit a heavy. That's 8. There's no real advantage to hitting heavies now. Whereas we hit 2. 2 Roman steps. Now it's 2-1. Use the 2 white dice for the Romans this time. Now, those dice are, I believe, on each die. Yeah, because only like leaders affect only 1 die. So we're probably pretty much doomed at this point. The Romans do a 7 and a 4. That's going to be 3 hits. That's going to wipe these out. On the other hand, we hit another heavy. And that's going to be 2 more points. But that doesn't really matter. Okay, now we got to calculate the effect on the victory conditions. Could this be done outside, after the game is done? Yeah, I think so. Oh, I got a Druid. I killed the Druid. He's automatically killed because the battle was lost. I don't get a chance of escaping like I would with Cav, sweeping it. So, here's the problem. I have to keep this number in place. So I killed 3 strength points of auxiliaries, and I gotta write this all down somewhere. And God knows how many regulars. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And you've got to keep this number running along with all these other numbers. Or you could calculate it all at the end of the game. 10 points of Romans, they're not worth anything. It's only knocking a legion down completely that is. Okay. As to these guys, I get a point for hitting that tribe so hard, and a point per unit for wiping the tribe out. I also killed a Druid, which is worth 2. So I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for half strength, 8, 9 victory points for the Romans. And at this point, the Romans are in the lead. These Auks, well, I could keep them kicking around as points just to remind me that they're dead, rather than trying to keep it recorded here. Then this legion is going to go back in the hex where they came from. They intercepted. I think that counts as a move, so I won't be allowed to move them again. And that is going to put it on to the Romans, who have a point at this point. But I'm going to break while I fiddle with this crap. Nice thing about this camera is when it's behaving itself at all, and it's not right now, I thought it was, it'll charge while I'm videoing. The other one I can't possibly do that with, just because of the stupid short USB thing. Unfortunately, this one is more likely to screw up in general, like if I'm leaving it alone to charge, which, whatever. I got two useless cameras now. Okay, so the Romans, for their action, moved the Second Legion into place here. Let me get that. Now it's charging again. And picked up a couple more units. That's an important space for them because, well, it's green, it's a Roman town. They're allowed to take supplies from that, I believe. I don't think it's just from the Roman camps. I don't remember. And then I'm out of points. The Britons decide they're passing because I want to try to rally or bring these forces into play again. So I'll make a quick roll for them. And there goes my power. Tribe revolts, joins the Britons. I don't know what I got. I gotta look on this other chart that's in a stupid place. This is a lot less annoying when you're playing with someone because you can gripe and make their life miserable as well. I guess I'm making your life miserable, but you can just turn me off. You don't have to sit here playing. 1518. That is the Regini, or Regni, sorry. The Regni. And the Regni are going to be with Boudica now. And they have joined. And there goes the power gun. And let's wiggle this around and make everybody sick. Nope, not working. Now it's working. Alright. These go away. Anything happen at the end of a turn? We have to straighten all these counters out that we don't have rules for how to mark them. And then we check and look for the sequence of play. Which again, unlike in a Victory Games game, yeah, they did give you some play aids, but not sufficient to be able to handle this game. So you're constantly flipping through the rulebook looking for what you need. Turn conclusion, nothing important there. I have the random tribal revolt, though, which is about the only way that they can win. And I guess red is first, and that's not going to do it. And we push to turn 5. It's not always this miserable, but it almost always is for me. Again, though, you know, every time I've played this damn thing with other people, they really had a good time. I can remember having a headache regarding this game, but taking some enjoyment out of the fact that they were enjoying it far more than I was. There are other games that I feel that way about. I'm sure, you know, I wouldn't have enjoyed ASL's Red Barricades anywhere near as much alone. I'm sure I wouldn't have enjoyed, I don't know what else. That there are other games that I really remember having a fun time with, just because other people with me were having fun, but not really being pleased with the game itself. Anyway, this is one that's in that category. Unlike Dark Emperor, which is one that every time I play it with people, they hate it, and I like it, whichever side I'm playing. Your picks this time, and there's no way the sort of fantasy situation of, oh, we'll never have the big battles because we don't have the points to get there are going to happen. You got 6 and 9 here. Now we open up with Roman supply. I want to spend some activations. I'm going to boost the 2nd Army, or 2nd Legion. 14th I can't do. I could help the 9th. Oh, I can do the 14th. Yeah, I'm going to boost the 14th as well. The 9th, wherever they are, they have to spend one. Okay. Civvies are good. What about Druid Invocation? I could spend a point during my ops phase to bring a Druid in. They come in back here, though, which is not the safest place in the world to be showing up. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do that. Am I gonna? This doesn't happen right now. I can do this during activation. What about an invocation? No desire to do that unless I want to roll. See, I really don't like the one table here, the actual invocation table. Could give me an extra ops point. But the other things just don't really work well for me. There's too many of them that are unpleasant. So I think I'll pass on that. And that means we go to ops. And what do I want to do with my druids? And that's the big question. I can't gather my forces without the druid or something available. So I'm going to have to get him moving. 2, 4, 6. He moved. I'm vulnerable here, so I may want to move him. It's more expensive if I'm doing hidden movement, but I do want to do hidden movement. So I'm in the forests. They cost essentially 3. I'll hide there. And I'll hold from there. Puts us over to the Romans. What the hell do I want to do with them? I gotta get these guys back to a town to recharge. Let's start doing that. 2, 4, 6, 8. And we'll leave it be. We're not in any great hurry now. These guys, are they in danger? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They could be forced marched onto, but the forced march can't happen in the same phase, if I'm correct here. That no, it can be done immediately after. The Romans can march up there and try to hit this. Does a bridge matter to combat? Who the hell knows? We look at this mess. That's not very easy for me to read, and yes, it does. It'll double strength. What about a river? Does a river have an effect? Doesn't look like it. But it's really expensive to cross a river. That's the Trinov. So we flip through our little rule book to find the tribal summary for them. I think that's these guys. There's going to be 24 of them. Doubled means 48. If they stand there to be defensive, I can probably hit them. What am I doing with Paulinus? I don't know. I've got to get him down somewhere where he can help mobilizing stuff, but if he does, he has to walk by these things and is in danger then. Kind of don't want to do that. What about this way? Yeah. I don't have, I'm not able to move there with the infantry, but I'm going to spend 1 to move Paulinus up in charge of the 9th Legion here. Okay, and we hand things back to the Britons. The Britons have to do something if they want to expend. Well, I have a lot of points now. One of them I want to do to get out here. Although 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I can get there. I may want to get off of this road and gather. Okay. I'm just out of range, so that's okay. And I'll punt back to the Romans. So we'll get that 14th Legion moving. I gotta get my forces together. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna regret moving Paulinus up here, I can see already, because I'm gonna be down here. Oh, and I could have picked him up on the way without spending one. I'll punt. I've got to have one for this. I don't have much else to do. I think I'll send these Cortavari to go to try to kill Venonaya. Unless I'm in danger anyway. And there's this. Maybe that's worth more. So we again flip to look at our victory points to see. Yeah, that's just a military post. It's just one. Roman towns and pro-Roman tribals are worth more. I don't really want to kill a military camp. They're just not that valuable. I think I want to hide. 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll be hidden here. Give back to the Romans. Force march or move. I gotta get Paulinus down there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a force march. I should get a marker for that. And speaking of which, nobody's out of supply. Okay. I punt again. Brigantes, or not Brigantes, the rebels. 1, 2, 3. Move to here. The Romans get another action. What do we bring into play? One, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is the 9th, and this is why we gathered. We pass back to the Britons. The Britons say, "Nah, we're done." So the Romans can do another one. We feel pretty safe moving these upward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to Londinium. Sure. And you see, I mean, it's not unpleasant right now. Whenever you have to look in the rule book, it gets really unpleasant because the rolls are obnoxious. But and then the combat system is just so many die rolls. And it feels so hopeless in the sense that you have this withdrawal option, but it depends on whether you have cav or not. Britons pass again. That's going to leave it back in the Romans' hands. So, what do I have that's worth moving? Not much. I can move some auxiliaries, I guess. Doesn't seem wise. I can pick these guys up on my way down, so why bother? I can't pick these guys up. Get some cav down here into the 2nd. And then we're both done. We're going to hit the attempt to bring these into play. And I'll look them off power again. 3, the tribe revolts, joins the Britons. This is interesting. You don't have an easy way, I think, of marking that unless there's berserks or something somewhere. Okay. So these are the Vente Bigarum that we can only 1914. Flip through the rolls again. Hope we don't have these already. These are the bell guy. And I'm allowed to collect them because I have a leader. So we'll put them into Boudicca's force. And then we have the possibility of a random tribal revolt. Looks like we got the Silures. 3 and 1. Okay, that's a big one. The Silures, and that's going to free up my need for this garrison, but it doesn't free up my reserve, which really is going to hurt. Silures are worth 48 here, and they show up in 2902 over here. But they don't look like much. That's turn 5. And I should mark down that I had one spontaneous revolt. Because if I get a second one, then I will actually be able to free them up. I don't have a choice on the spontaneous revolt. I can't prevent it from happening except by losing, you know, all the potentials here, I guess. Or mustering them. Alrighty, and that puts us onto another turn. Beginning of turn stuff. Draws favored the Britons. Of course, with Paulinus, the Romans can't do too badly. The fear of this, well, first of all, that removes the need for the reserve marker here anymore. And secondly, I started running my, what is that, Corinium civilians out of that. I lose some points that I could potentially gain by running away, but since I'm already in the lead in points, I feel like Rome is more on the defensive in terms of, you know, just trying not to risk too much here. They're obviously on the defensive overall, rather than in a position of, you know, having to really hurry to do something about that Britain problem. But, so, not leaving points out to risk seems like a good idea. Okay, well, I guess we start with the activations because I didn't want to do anything else. I didn't want to spend any of that limited amount of points on supply, for example. And there's no reason to invoke the Druids when there really isn't going to be a big battle. Open things up with the Druids moving here. For the Romans, I've got a couple of things I know I want to do. I want to get Paulinus' force into a supply place where I can start buying some supplies. However, maybe not Lindum. Maybe down here where I'm more on the route to everything else. That would take a forced march to get to, though. So if I'm using 2 of my activations for a forced march there, that doesn't leave me a whole hell of a lot to do with anything else. I'd like to bring the 20th in. Which is automatic for these guys, but the off map is not. I'm sitting on turn 6 right now, which means I'm as good as it gets, 3 to 6. So I'm going to burn a point. Oh, that's not going to give me 2 points left to bring them in. So I really have to deal with these guys. They're as big and bad as the Brigantes. And the 20th comes in, I think, dropping this down to 4. Actually, it may come in up here. Gotta look for that. they all enter in that same hex. Alright, well I gotta get them moving. That's the most important, and if they don't go, I'll have the points to bring them on the board. They do not come in, which means that I can move in this direction instead. I don't want to blow all my points, so I'll throw it back over to the Britons. I'm moving somewhere in this forest you can't see. I think that's all I get to move. If I can find the movement points. Yeah. And that throws it back to the Romans. I know what I want to do with the Romans. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. I want to move these. I'm going to make them unhidden. And move them 2, 4, 6. We're gathering a hell of a force there. I'd like to get Boudica in place. I'm actually getting most of the Britons together in a way that the Romans just aren't concentrated right now. Back to the Romans. Gonna force march. Down to here I could put a little marker. I should put a little marker, but I don't really. That should be this force. I don't really have. I don't have any more points, so I'm not going to bother with it. Now, Boudica's got 2 more points, and her next one she's going to spend on these. Now, crossing that stupid river, which I can't build a bridge across, cost me almost all of my movement. So, here they come slowly. The Romans pass. Boudica's going to move up. I didn't move these civilians? Oh, jeez. Oops. She looks so non-threatening there. Just one little counter off doing, oh well. 1, 2, 5. I killed some civilians. What are they worth? They're just worth 1. But that's points away from, Rome keeping them alive has a value there. I don't have an activation to burn. Oh wait, that's not. Why are they there? What the hell are those? Wow. Roman citizens in a tribal town. Neat. I think that was my last point. I wouldn't want to burn that anyway. That's one of my allies, potentially. If I burn it, I have to attack them to burn it, which makes some sense. Okay. Wait, no, I had to leave one. I had one left over so that I could make a roll on them, on the tribal revolt. And it's another Roman tribe. This one is 2416. Let's look that up. The Atrebates. So this is the thing that's going so against the rebels, and I'll be back with the battle. I gotta check on a few things outside of the game. I had to check how much time I had before work. I had plenty, but then I noticed an email and ended up doing work during all the time that I had for the game. Well, I'll cheat and give myself a little time here. So I'm leaving Boudica to mark this. I could use some other little counter, but that's fine. So these are the forces I have, which is just 24? No, I'm sorry, 16, 18. Is that, yeah, these forces are tiny. Huh. Versus 1632 for Boudica. Now, it doesn't matter who the attacker is, really. We're looking at, it looks like 3-2. So Boudica is going to get 2 dice, and these guys are going to get 1 in the first round. And then it'll be just straight odds there. I think the only advantage that comes from this, one bonus is I can burn this down afterwards. The only advantage that comes from this is Boudica has her +1 combat advantage. And this is not an unsacked town, I don't think. It's a tribal capital. Okay, Boudica can only add to 1 die, so this is where it gets complicated. So she's going to add to the yellow die. And let's look for the combat chart. She'll use the white and yellow. Okay, and this does not go well. Oh, is this a major battle? Yeah, they're both over 10. So she gets 2, one of which has to be heavy. Doesn't really matter who I kill. I'll take both steps of this. Oh, victory points might be based on tribes damaged. This is... yeah, knocking a tribe down is particularly bad. So, I want to take these, I guess, on different units, much as I'd rather, for cleanliness, not. And what did we do? We did 1 heavy and 1 normal. So there's the heavy. And see, if we take hits on the cav, that allows Boudica to retreat, but we need to win the battle. So we'll lose 5 there. And it's still 3-2, but it's going to go down to just a die versus a die if I stick around. Do I want to stick around? Yeah, I gotta wipe these things out. I outnumber them slightly. And that doesn't go well either. They do 1. I disrupt them. Okay, disruption is a temporary status. I'll put it on the cav. And they do 1 to me. Or I'll kill a Belgai, and I'll have to leave it out so that I can keep track of the fact that Belgai have taken casualties there. So I took 4, and they took nothing. Now disruption gives me, if we look at the combat chart, a +1 for each unit that's disrupted, I think, or something. Yeah, a -1. They have a -1 to the dice. Now they could retreat, being the smaller force. They may actually wish to, because it gets rid of the disruption. So we don't really want to fight at -1 with a plus. Shit. Okay, there go those nice West End counters. So what was my total? My total was 13. So these slick counters are really a pain in the ass when they collapse. Now, the withdrawal Has to be towards their capital. Well, that's not going to work. Nearest friendly capital or post. And they go their full movement. So these guys are going to move here. And they actually, it doesn't say anything about whether they've moved or not, but they get one of these moved markers, which you would assume means that. But that means they can't intercept. I can get rid of the disruption because those automatically go away at the end of the battle. So no real points were gained there for Boudica. She just lost some units. And I think that's the end of the turn. That wasn't even really part. That was. Oh no, I have the possibility of a random. A random revolt. That's not going to do it. So we push on to 7, and I go to work. I have a test batch running that is eating up my resources, so it seems like a good time to sneak in another turn. Let's see. So the picks were not good for the Britons, and this is a bad turn for that to happen. What I would have liked to have done was begin to gather these forces together, burn this, move this, right? I'm not going to spend anything on berserking my tribals. Romans spent a couple points, or spent a point to get the supply of the 9th up, which means Polinius is going to be coming down and starting to form up his forces for the big fight. I've got to figure out what the hell to do here with the Britons. Largely, I think trying to sleaze 3 points by burning this seems like a bad idea. But there's a whole legion here, which is more than I can kind of handle. I've got to figure out some way to get Boudica out of the way. I don't want to get her killed. She's worth points, I assume, and she's certainly my only combat capable leader. Let's look at my points and see. Yeah, she's worth 5, which is pretty damn big. I'm just not sure how to get away with her, though. That's kind of the problem. Maybe I can shoot up this road. Another option is the Britons could slide down to here, conceivably burn that next turn, and then that's only worth a point, so it's not a big deal, and then push forward so that and I should put something blue. I'm using the pro-Romans to mark the forces on the map, so I'm going to put little blue things. These are the backs of civilians. I hate having to use this. I think the Rome is also pro-Roman. I'm going to put those in place in order to see. Oh, and you know what I forgot to do? When I rolled up the spontaneous revolt, I think you roll on the tribal revolt table after that, and I don't think I did that. We'll leave that alone because I only had the one. I can't do it on every turn anyway. I don't know. But we'll leave things as they are. Obviously, I screwed up in a number of ways. So, let me see, what am I thinking? So one of the advantages that I have is if I move these into place, I can do a gathering of the tribes, and everything within 3 of a leader, I'll move to that leader. Now, it counts as their movement, but it saves me a lot of ops points gathering up a big enough force to face Paulinus or whatever, which I'm going to need. It's really tough to beat a Legion, as we've seen with the poor Brigantes. I'm just so worried about Boudica here because she's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in range of that. I think I've got to move her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6. Let's get off the road. And I'm out of range, and you can't force march to hit me. I feel pretty safe there. But that's my points for the turn, and I got nothing else done. Now for the Romans, harder calls. I would love to gather my forces. So I'm going to spend an operations to bring the 20th into play. The off-map stuff. I feel like I've got tons of time just because they're not going anywhere. Off-map is automatic. They come in here. Actually, not yet. Unfortunately, that drops the supply for the 20th down to 4. I spend another one to actually move them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I head on my way. Moving all of these legions one by one sounds miserable to me. So my thought is I could shoot Paulinus up here. Or to here and pick him up on the way. But I don't know that I want to do that yet. Remember, I don't know where these guys are. No, I can't move Paulinus. He's already gathered a big force. Okay. Alright, we'll try to make his force bigger. And here's this pile here. What was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those other guys are just ancillaries. And I got one more move. Second Legion can't reach anyone. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I could have gone with an overrun. Not an overrun, but I'm kind of afraid because that is the whole Iceni tribe. So that is a fairly large force. Give Paulinus another legion already? I mean, 2 Roman legions and this should be enough to handle anything. I just don't know if I need that much force. The problem is I don't know what other options I have for movement at this point. Let's block the path and move these guys there. And that will end the turn. If I had spontaneous revolt, I would roll it, but it was an odd turn, so I'm going to follow the rules this time. Tree cutters for my place. I think that's it for the turn. Okay. Well, Boudica's got a hard job here. Only got 1 point. Romans didn't get many, but I don't know that. And I'm looking at, geez, I still can't get these in range and save Boudica at the same time. How do I save Boudica, among other things? Maybe I send her off to join the Siluries. Or I can go hide in these woods. Those are my two choices, and I want to do one of them right away. So here it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could be hiding in the woods and hidden. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hiding in the woods and hidden but on a road, which kind of defeats the purpose. It'll be obvious how far I moved. Or I can just run. And I think just running is my better move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Head this way. The Romans aren't going to be able to reach me because they can't force march unless they're on the road. And there's just nothing that is close enough anymore. But it does mean that perhaps the Romans can defeat this in detail. Now, they don't know what's going on. This move makes perfect sense whether or not these are gathering. So I got to think a little bit on the Romans as to what they're going to do. I spent a quick 2 points and collected everything here, moving the 2nd Legion into place and then the 9th to join them, picking up some more tribals. I've got a humongous force here collated that should be able to destroy the Iceni with no real problem. And then I let the Britons go and they pass. And now I've got to decide, well, what the hell am I going to do? Is their pass a real pass, or are they sandbagging me? I'm going to assume that it's real, but on a 1 in 6 chance I'm going to think, well, maybe they're sandbagging and I'm low on points. I'd like to be able to react. Maybe, just maybe. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to throw away one of my points, and there's not much I can do with it. This is a pity, because I would have liked to get the 20 together here, but you know, this is one of the things that playing solo, that kind of information wouldn't be available to the players. In a real opposed games, I kind of try to simulate that a little bit with that kind of die roll. And there is nothing going on for the Britons in terms of... oh, it's an even turn. But you know what? I rolled more than I should have for those, so I'm going to skip over the random revolts this time. I gave them too many front-loaded anyway, and they got at least 1 success. Alright. Okay, so this time we got better points here. I don't really have anything I want to charge up for the Romans, although this is dropping precipitously, and I'd better get them gathered together where I can charge them. Luckily I have enough points with both sides that I'll be able to do some things. Now what about the Britons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm out of range of those pro-Romans, so I'm pretty safe with that. I'm worried here, and we're going to move some of them. I can actually pick up that Druid and move a space, I guess. And I think we're gonna... and that has moved the Druid, unfortunately, but I want to gather everything. I think we're gonna spend another movement to get this hidden unit 2, and we'll put it on the field 2, 3 into there as well. And we have quite a huge pile. There's no stacking limit, just restrictions on stacking, basically. And I think that's good enough. I didn't try to berserk them. I don't particularly want to take those risks. Although, maybe I should have, given what's going on, but we're okay. Actually, with that 1 extra movement point, I could have moved down here across the river. Because I'm really kind of afraid of those Romans. That's a huge stack. So I'll hand things back over to the Romans, and, well, it can be a bigger stack, can't it? We're going to have our 20th Legion form up here. Unless I get Paulinus here, and I can't really use him for that, I'm going to have to move these 2 legions separately. So, do I want to head down? I don't see a reason to telegraph my actions at this point. My worry might be that these guys get away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a big penalty for crossing a bridge, though. So I'm going to pass. And let's see. So, I think we want to move these. That's my next action. I can't cross, and I'll let the Romans go. I don't know. Are these in the game? Where is that? That's 4116. I ought to have little markers for red guys who are in the game as well, but that's the Coratani. Yeah, I think they're on the board somewhere. That's these guys. So I could go burn them. It might not be a bad move. Let's move. We want to follow the road even if we're going down this way, I think. 2, 3, 4. This is 14 if I can figure out where they are. And we're on our way. Heading down. I don't remember. I think these are above the 3. That'll give it back to the Britons. I think I can safely attack there with just her. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we will do that. Now, there would be the interesting question, hey, did I want to intercept to try to stop her or something? Chances are she's going to be able to overrun anything I send out there, so it would just cost her some movement points. She'd still end up here. So we're going to let her get to there, I guess. And now we've got a battle. I think it's an overrun, though. Yep, I got more than 10, and this is nothing special. So I just killed a 4th strength point of those. And that's her movement. I've got one more operation point. Who are these guys? Cambarundum. Have I activated them? 3524. I may not have. That's the Trinovantes. I think I've got them in the game. Yeah. So I'm not going to be able to pull somebody else in from there. I don't know if I got these 28, 21, probably not. You can see where that's the Cataluvani. Oh, they're in. You can see where a few more play aids would make this a much better game, and maybe just some. I may pull some tiddlywinks or something like that I've got extras of to try to help make this work a little better. Right now I've got to figure out what I want to do. One of my points is going to go here. My other point I don't think I have a use for. The point here is going to be to trigger them and bring them into the game. So I guess I'm passing, and I'm going to think about the Romans while I look for something to help me mark who owns what. Okay, so I found some, although the red ones I'm using are a little large for this game, but that's okay. The blue ones are fine. Now, I'm considering what to do with Paulinus. If I move him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I get adjacent to them. Now, the danger there, of course, is they could blow a point to intercept. And that gives them a +1. However, I don't know how terrible that is. I would rather fight them that way than in the river. I think they're going to be forced to fight me. The only question is how many troops I'm going to bring up. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, it's obvious that I'm heading towards them. I'll let them keep going. 8, and now I'm going to intercept. They can't reach me, but I'd rather have the fight, and I have to find the interception table. This is going to be Britons with cav in a town going 1 hex distance. Boom, they get it. And we are going to have the battle that probably determines the game here. So, well, this video is going to be a little longer than I expected. But I don't want to intercept because next turn I can do it after having tried to berserk the troops. So I'm still at 2. I've moved these so I can't do them again. So I'll pass again and let the Romans take another action. So now the Romans have to decide what they're doing with these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could start heading this way. That battle's either going to be won or lost, right? I don't know. But on the other hand, these guys aren't sufficient to cope with that. Rome's pretty much out of uses for their points. The Britons have been passing. The Britons pass again. The Romans pass again. Maybe, maybe not. I got 12 points here. And 8. I don't know. Those aren't going to help much. Let's move them anyway. What's it going to cost me to walk through the woods? A 3 for the woods, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll run away. Now the Britons are going to spend their 1 point to try and activate this. It'll be a tribal revolt. Oh, look, another Roman tribe. This is the 3105. 3105 is... sounds like 3106, yeah. Is the Dobuni. Well, now, here's what bugs me. Okay. I was going to say I have 3 tribes, but that makes sense. One's here at the Veraconium. One's down here. Alright. So how good are these guys? 22. And I'm going to be fighting them in their town. Does that affect? If it does, I missed it last time. That's over on this chart. I don't think so. If attacking units attack units in unsacked towns, yeah, there should be a -1 on her die roll, which is perhaps worse than the +1. Let me bring her out, see what she's got, and we'll go blue disc there for now. Yeah, alright. I'll pull her units out and move to the fight. We got 16 to 22. Let me make sure I'm right here. 8, 12, 13. I dropped a counter. These damn counters are so slickery, and I'm assuming that it was a flipped over counter if it fell out, but I'm not sure. So anyway, we're at a disadvantage here. We're both going to roll a die. I'll let the pro-Romans have the red die. And we're really at even because she's got +1 for her die and -1. We each get a 4, that's 1 heavy. It's going to subtract 5 off this. And 4 off her. -1. Belgae are already at half strength. I didn't realize that. They should be giving the Romans an extra point or something for that. And we're still at even. Only only Boudica could withdraw, and I believe she wants to. She's not facing... Oh, she's facing Cav. That would be an extra hit. We'll keep going. Ooh, she does well. This is again a major battle. So it's 0, and she does 2 heavies, which is going to be 5, 10 hits to these. There's no pursuit available. We're going to withdraw up to here, and we should get a pro-Roman marker there. And we took no hits. So we just destroyed half of a pro-Roman force. Let's look at the victory points, see if we got anything there. Okay, well, we killed 10. That's not them. Looks like 15. That's 3 victory points for us there, because it's each strength point that's important. And the Belgae were halved, and I haven't remembered that. That happened earlier, actually. So that's 1 victory point for Rome. But we still keep them there in case they're completely wiped out. They'll be worth more points. Okay, and now I can spend a point to burn that. Not now. Nope. It's not the operations phase. So, you know, I was burning a point before. I'm still burning it. And that ends the turn. Up there. And lets me send this back up.